serious discussion is now over, and welcome to the Master of Unlocking podcast. Now that we've had a serious discussion, pre-production, life meeting, we're all good to go. And now we're
And
ready.
in case you missed it, it was about video games and TV. Trust us.
Yeah.
The whole thing was because that's what our lives revolve around. Nothing about careers, families, children, anything like that at all. Just straight video games. And you know what? We get to go straight into video games this week because all I had was turkey, ham, and a lot of carbs. That was my fast food challenge for the week.
Well, are we going to do another one for this week? Or
Ooh, yeah. Do we need to dedicate that now? Does someone have something in mind?
I don't have anything in mind. I didn't. It was not on my mind. You know what I mean? Caleb, do you have something to assign us?
Maybe if you guys are up for it, because I only saw one thing. Again, this is the football watching commercial.
Yes,
let's do it. That's all I need to know.
Yeah,
let's do it.
For it.
What do you got?
The only thing I saw is that Little Caesars apparently has a new meal deal thing.
Little Caesars, huh?
Is it the pepperoni and the mozzarella, like the circle mozzarella? $6.
It's like pepperoni something. It was $10. You get.
Oh, okay.
You get the pizza, you get the crazy bread, you get the soda.
I do like crazy bread. I'm not gonna lie.
Logan's in. I do like crazy bread.
I really do.
Like crazy bread.
Back in the day, my Kmart, if that dates me a little bit here, my Kmart had a Little Caesars inside of it, and you could go in, and they would just have hot and ready crazy bread. And you could just go into Kmart and walk around with some crazy bread. That was
yeah. This is the pepperoni cheeser.
I'm ready.
What is
do that?
What is so special about this? It's $7.
Okay. Now I see pizza is $7, or the meal is $10.
Oh yeah, the $10 meal includes crazy bread and a 2-liter of cola.
I'm going meal. I gotta tell you, that's great value because I've paid like $10 for these burger and chicken sandwich combos anyway that we've bought. So, I mean, the A1 monstrosity was like $11.65 or something like that.
It was kind of ridiculous. Yeah, this seems like a really good take my kids to lunch day thing.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that could work. The only problem...
it looks like it could be like 2 or 3 meals. So.
It could be. Yeah, this seems like this is very doable. The only one we have in town is the one over on Cottage, isn't it?
Yeah, as far as I know.
That's pretty far over there. What if they deliver out here?
I could do
order a $10 delivery, give them like a $5 tip to drive all the way across town.
There you go.
Apparently there is one more. It is...
Really? Is it on Oakland? I thought that one closed.
It is on... Where is that? Oh, that's Cottage. That's the Cottage one. The other one is Oakland, and it's right by Kroger.
Yeah, it's over by that Kroger over there. Okay. I don't know which one's closer, but because it's like whether I head all the way west or all the way south. My wife could maybe pick that up though someday. She's a little farther south when she goes into work. So, all right.
Okay.
So the pepperoni cheeser is cheeser. All right. This could be. No, and oddly enough, it's hot and ready, so it's fast food.
Yeah.
That's the more impressive part. It qualifies.
Hot and ready.
Speaking of hot and ready,
just like this video game talk coming at you. Hot and ready.
Yeah, so Jason got his PlayStation back from Caleb this week, so that was hot and ready.
There it is. You see it? It's right there.
I know, I see it standing up over there. Wish mine could stand up.
It's right there. Yeah. I got the stand installed.
Yours isn't
No,
mine's
up. No, yeah.
Oh, with your kids, I
dude, my son he climbed up and got himself in the sink this morning without anyone noticing at all. He moved over a stool, climbed up, pulled himself up. He's newly 2 and in the sink, and he's like, "Mama, wash!" And he's just like slamming dishes down, and no one saw it.
Here's the question: was he clothed? Or
he's soaked.
Soaked, yeah. I didn't know if I could also see him jumping in there fully nude and just being like, "Bath?" Like
he didn't manage. No, he didn't go full party boy. He does sometimes, but he did not. No, but the 1X Series X. I've been saying 1X forever.
I know, that's all right.
That's turned around. He has already found the power button on there. Has found a way. He ejected Miles Morales like 25 times the other day. Disk drive still works, thank God.
That's good.
So anyway, it's on its side. I had to Google the how to attach the stand.
Yeah, it was not very clear.
I'm glad you felt that way too.
I had it on vertically, which I think was a little bit easier, but the horizontal, I was like, how would you even do that?
Spin it and then clip it. And then even at that, the clips aren't they don't have a nice tooth to them, you know what I mean? Like a snap in. It just kind of in there. Is that how you have it? Yours, Logan? Yours is on its side?
Yeah, it's on my side, and it's definitely not as nice as I would like it to be in there. That's for sure. Like it's not as I don't even know what you would call it, but I'm not happy with how it's in there.
What I am happy with, other than the fact that my kids can get at them, unfortunately, is that they're in open air. I'll take them blocking cases, unfortunately, on the wall to just have good ventilation. So that's, I don't know, computer guys, you tell me. I think that's important. Ventilation, right?
Yeah, ventilation should be a thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I finally played my PS4. I played everything that you guys have played. PS5, sorry.
Yeah,
PS5.
you said 4. It's fine.
So you have an Xbox One X and a PS4 sitting there,
right?
Yes, and they're now the tier below. They have been
they've been de-tiered. Yeah,
they're right there. But good news this week, guys, didn't have to hook up the PS4 because the PS5 game was crashing. Didn't have to do that.
That's good news. That's always good
news there.
So let's get into some of those games that you played, since we've all played those. Let's start with Demon Souls, because I'm sure that was your favorite.
I don't hate Demon Souls. It's just not good at it.
I think
same thing with the Sekiro experience. And I'm not supposed to be good at it. I understand that. But I did vanquish one demon. Logan, did you wait, what are they called, Caleb? Demons?
Yeah.
Bosses are demons.
Yeah.
Logan, did you vanquish a demon?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't make it that far.
So
when Vanguard?
When you I think he's the guy, he's the slimy guy with surrounded
big blob
by the shields.
Yep.
The Phalanx, isn't he? The Phalanx?
Yes, you're right. Sorry,
Phalanx.
I said the wrong word.
So I began playing it much like Logan, and then ran into a wall pretty quickly, and decided that I was going to consult the internet on the best way to start, and of course then had a better experience, picked a better class, picked a better, whatever you call them, Caleb, like awards or bonuses or whatever the item is that you choose, gift, is what they, excuse me. So I had more success that way, but I will say that it's like, if you're not used to playing these games and it's something that you're trying to get into, I think that once you do vanquish a demon, I kind of was like, oh. And it's a little bit different with Sekiro, because I went through several bosses with Sekiro. I made a little progress in Sekiro. Definitely more than this. But once I did it, I was like, I see. That feels pretty good. I see what you're doing here. So you accomplish something that's really hard to do, and then you kind of want more of it. But it's the journey between them that is really the thing that kills me. Is that the checkpointing is so ungenerous by design, and you go through it, and that stuff in between them is not easy. It's just not. It's hard. Like Caleb, I made it to the bridge, and then there's a dragon who's throwing fire.
Yeah, I wouldn't go
on each one of those.
I wouldn't go there yet. I mean, if you wanted to continue, I would tell you to go to other places first.
And see, that's the hard thing, right? Is that you go to a spot and you think you're going the right way, but if I had then Googled where to go next, that's probably not the next place to go, right? But I don't know that, and I don't know if I have it in me to just struggle through. You know what I mean? Like it's the same thing with Sekiro. Like I do actually like it, but I can't not make progress in a game right now. Like I would choose to go. I would choose to go to something where I can make progress. Whether that be like finishing games that I'm playing or giving AC Valhalla more time, or even playing 2K because I feel that is more rewarding because I am enjoying playing that more. So it's just like it's about the choices you make. But when I die and then I get halfway to where I'm going, or I get all the way to the end right before I get to the next demon and I die, and it could just be so deflating.
The one thing that I would recommend that you do before you give up entirely is, so you know how there's the different archstones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go to the fourth one. Because
Okay.
I just want you to like literally see the visuals of that fourth archstone because it is gorgeous when you load.
Do you know the name of that archstone?
I could look it up. I'll look it up.
Look it up and give it to me so that way I know where I'm going. That game, I think, Logan, I don't know about you, but I think that game does look pretty freaking nice.
It's the only game that's actually built for this generation. That's why. Every other game is a cross-gen game. So yes, that game looks great.
It's called the Shrine of Storms. Go take a look at the Shrine of Storms before you uninstall.
I'm going to take a very public note in our Discord. The Shrine of Storms. That way I can, when I'm looking at this tomorrow, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's in Discord. There we go. Okay, thank you, Caleb. I could see myself in a world where there was maybe Cyberpunk being delayed, that I could kind of try to power through some more.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's not too late. It could still be delayed.
It still could.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know, Caleb. I went to give this back to you probably twice this week, and I was like,
you can't let it beat you. You can't let it defeat you.
Yes, it's exactly it. It's like it appeals to the part of me that, like, we were talking about this with Hades. Like, there was one point in time where I wouldn't play Call of Duty on non-veteran, and I wouldn't. I really enjoyed playing hard games, and I mostly think that my life in gaming that way is over. And then something like this comes along, so like, it gets that Cuphead script, that whatever that is in my brain, it kind of like, you're not better than me. I can do this. But then I'll do like 10 of those runs in a row, and like some will go really well, and I mean in between boss fights, like some runs will go really well, some will go really poorly, and either way, like, I'm so deflated when I get back there.
Yeah, and you can't even. The Demon Souls is weird too because you can't even level up until after you beat that first boss. So it's not like you can even like grind out or anything like that. You just have to push through that first one.
And I have so this is because I don't understand these games. This is a dumb question for you, but the only way to spend souls is going to the merchant, right? That's where you spend your souls.
At first, yeah, that's the only place to go. And then after you beat that first boss, you can go back and talk to the maiden there, the girl that has the blindfold or whatever on. And then you can level up your stats through her by spending souls. But she doesn't let you do that until after you beat the first boss.
And I have done that, so maybe I need to look into that.
You could go and do that, yeah.
Where is she located? Where's the maiden?
She's in the Nexus. She moves around in the Nexus.
She's in the Nexus, though. Okay.
Sometimes she's right next to the merchant. Sometimes she's always real close. Like, just look around. You'll find her.
I remember I didn't play this way back when, 11 years ago when it came out, but I do remember video game journalists and communities kind of burgeoning around this and sharing information and talking about it. And I think that is still something that I find really fascinating about these games. But I don't know if I want to spend all my time like looking at the phone, consulting with the phone, then going back to the game, coming up with a plan. And then once I have a plan, I still need to execute it. And executing it is still really hard, you know.
Well,
so
let me tell you my Demon Souls story, because I finished it right before I gave it back to you. Before I gave you back the PS5.
I was curious if you finished it, because you turned around and gave it to me after we talked.
So I had all I had left from last week was the final boss. Well, the actual final boss is a joke. Like you if you die to him, you're the worst Souls player of all time. Like he has one attack and it's just like he's like a slug and he like flops over on his side and that's it.
Oh, well, okay.
So the real final boss is the one right before him. And he's a bastard. And the thing that makes him a huge bastard is he has an attack where he has this giant sword and he'll impale you and like pull you up by it. And if that hits you, it can drain a soul level. So like one of your actual levels that you've earned.
Oh.
So he's also got he's got another attack where he just like literally like zooms all the way across at you with his sword out and is like a magnet to you, and hits you pretty easily there. And then he's got this big AoE where he just kind of explodes, and it does it's a huge radius. You have to be way away from him to not take damage from that. So I remembered this from playing before, so I was like, I'm just going to summon for this fight. Somebody else is going to help me out with this. It'll be fine. So I wait around because nobody was there. So I waited for probably 10 minutes. Finally, a guy shows up, and his name is what was it? It was like Sword for Hire or something like that. I'm like, okay, cool. this guy.
Is this their PSN name?
Yeah. Well, it's whatever name they gave their character.
Oh, so you're seeing character names, not PSN names.
Yeah.
Okay. I've been dead the whole time playing this, Caleb. I wasn't even, I was alive for 5 minutes after the phalanx, and then I was dead again.
It's actually I won't get into why, but it's actually really smart to play dead for the majority of the game. But anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, see, why would I know that? I'm like anything. Right. Of course. Another thing I don't know. Great.
So he comes in to the boss fight with me, and he's got this giant bow. And I was a sword and shield guy. So I have my giant shield out, my sword, and I go after the boss. The boss comes after me first because I have this giant shield out. And I see him like loose an arrow, and it literally just takes a quarter of this boss's health down. Like, holy shit, this guy has played this game a lot. So he does that. I'm dealing with him. And then he does the sword out magnet attack from like halfway across this giant arena. He does this to the other guy. He tries to roll all the way and he does not escape. So he dies very quickly. He was also using a ring that gives you bonus damage when you're below a certain percentage on health. So he didn't have a whole lot of health to begin with, and he got one hit and he died. So I'm like, okay, cool. So this boss has 75% of his health left, and I'm here by myself. I guess I got to do it. Immediately, the boss hits me with the soul drain, where I lose a level. And I'm like, oh my God, this sucks so much. But then he started in a really good pattern for me, and I just kind of chipped away at him and eventually got him. So I pretty much did it by myself.
Good for you.
So I was pretty proud of that. And then finished the game and gave you the PS5 back.
Well, you finished it. Congratulations. That's something that I probably will never be able to say. So,
yeah, me either.
It's something else. I will take a look at it, and I probably am like, I don't know, I might do one more round of research and go look at the area you want me to look at. I could be like one more evening away from, giving this back to you and giving up, but I'm not quite there yet. I got to do it on my own terms. Yeah. So
let me know if you want hints.
I might have you just tell me where to go next. Just explicitly tell me where to go and what to do, and see what we can come up with there. Take a little bit of help, but that's it for Demon Souls for me.
All right. Well, let's step into Spider-Man Miles Morales then, since that would be the other one that all three of us have now gone through and played. So, what were your thoughts on that one?
I really, really, really hate. No, I really like that game a lot. I really like it a lot.
I was like, wait a minute. No, yeah. I'm like, that game's really good. I didn't want to overhype it at all.
I think it's pretty awesome. I would assume Logan goes in a little bit pre-positioned to like it just because of your taste in superhero stuff.
Right.
Caleb's probably somewhere in the middle. I'm really cold on the superhero stuff right now, and I still really, really like this game a lot. I liked it, I think, quite a bit more than the other Spider-Man game, honestly. I don't know whether it's the Venom powers or whether that I like Miles and the characters more, but I like all of it. Even if it did have some of that tropey superhero stuff, you could see it coming, like, oh, this character's clearly important. This person's probably this person. You know what I mean? But none of that matters because it's so rock solid. It's
a tight little package too. I think that's the other thing that's so great about it is that you could go through that thing and there wasn't a bunch of BS side. Like, I mean, like it didn't throw you for like 3 or 4 different missions just to kind of fill time. Like there was a clear Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3, and it was over. And probably would you finish it? Probably 6-7 hours, maybe
something like that. A little bit longer than I thought. Maybe like 6.5, 7.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wish there was one of the nice things about AC Valhalla is it has your playtime every time you go back in. So even if you are idle or whatever, it gives you like a little bit of an idea. I wish more games did that. It'd be neat if they had internal
Seems like an
trackers.
Easy thing to do.
Yeah. So I mean, I have no idea, honestly, but it definitely wasn't over 10. I'll tell you that.
No, probably not.
I'm surprised. I didn't know. I didn't know I was going to like it that much, and I got about halfway through, and I was like, I am really digging this. I got to finish this, and it was like priority 1. Like, ignore my children. You go over there. You color there. I was no. It's Thanksgiving. No. I liked it a lot. Other than being very specific about. I think the one thing I can be specific about is I really like the combat a lot. I think there's a lot going on with that Venom stuff. I really like the skill tree a lot. And I was really getting into a nice groove. I felt like I'm using my web here, I'm using my finishers here, I'm using Venom there, and it's all like the cadence of the combat is it lends you into a comfortable position where you're bouncing through skills. Or at least that's how I felt. It's like, it's time to use this. It's time to use this. It's time to use this. And I really like it.
Like that Rhino fight where you have to use the Venom a little bit more. There's and then the other, I forget what were those guys? What was the company's name? It's been like 2 weeks.
I want to say Albion, but that's Legion.
Yeah, it's whatever the energy company's security guards were.
Yeah, the Simon
Kriegers, yeah. I just don't remember what the name of the company is, but yeah, they
Troy Baker Incorporated.
There you go. That's but yeah, I mean, just the little mix up of enemies and stuff, just to be able to use those stuff. And yeah, like I said, the story was well done. It hit a lot of notes. And in maybe another year, this would be ranked a lot higher. But that's it.
It'll find its way.
It'll find its way up there, I think.
It will be worth discussing. It just might not. I see everything in this lens for me just because it's personally like I look at this wall a lot. And I try to think like if new games are moving things around and I do it in my head, you know what I mean? But then like you just can't get past Persona 5. Like it's just where everything seems to stop. As everything like climbs the ladder and then it just runs into Persona 5 and there's just no getting by it. You just can't get by it.
It's a hard
one. And in this year, Miles will go as far as Miles can go, and then God bless you. Great job. You know what I mean? We'll see.
That's what I mean. Like, it's one of those years that it's like, oh, there's a lot of quality stuff out there.
There's something that I've come to realize this year, and it's like games that we're talking about, like they have floors and ceilings. You know, like Miles Morales' ceiling is a little bit lower just because of the nature of what it is. So like it may have reached its absolute ceiling, but it's stuck there, you know.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like it does what it does really well.
Yeah,
you know, it's still gonna be Spider-Man 1.5.
It is always
going to be that.
Yeah,
but it's the best version of Spider-Man 1.5.
If you would have told me to predict what Miles Morales was going to be before it came out, I would have said this game has a very high floor, but also a relatively low ceiling. So it's going to be a pretty safe bet.
Mm-hmm. And it hit that high ceiling somehow.
It did hit the high ceiling. Yeah. Or the low ceiling.
Or the low ceiling, yeah. It hit the highest ceiling it could possibly hit for what it was.
Miles Morales stayed within itself, and it maximized its whatever its abilities for sure. Mm-hmm. So I like that game a lot.
I'm glad you like that a lot. I was a little nervous where you would end up with that game.
I think that much like the one before it, I think it does wait a little too long on the upgrade stuff and introducing new fighting abilities. That was one thing that really bothered me about the original Spider-Man, and I think it kind of just maybe should just introduce stuff a little earlier so you can use all of it a little more. But other than that, that's like the only thing I was disappointed by. It's like, oh, I wish I would have had this more, because I can tell I'm ramping towards the end of this game, and if I want to use it, I certainly can do side stuff, but I was just a little bit disappointed as like a mainliner of that game to unlock abilities so late.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's literally the only bad thing I have to say about that game. I really liked it.
Had you watched Into the Spider-Verse?
No.
Well, you should watch that.
That's actually a very good movie. You should check that out. I believe it's on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that you'll watch that and go, oh, well, yeah, like now a lot of you'll know who the characters are. A lot of stuff will make more sense. It'll be
okay.
Just because that movie's all about Miles.
Is it? That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. I will now because I really enjoy Miles a lot as a character.
Mm-hmm. He's a little younger in the movie.
Okay.
Probably more like 13, 14 in the movie versus like 16, 17 in the game. So
yeah, I think he's 17. I think they
something
said,
like that. Yeah, so he's still in high school, but like he's not a freshman kind of thing. Yeah. So
this also led me to like wherever they're going next. If it is like a half Peter Parker, half Miles game, please just don't let Miles not be in it. Like that's all I have to say.
Yeah,
Miles goes to Europe for a week.
Whatever the excuse is this time. Yes, God, Miles has got his graduation. Like I just whatever. I don't want to see him go away because I don't know what it was, but
don't make me do stealth missions as Mary Jane again.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, none of that, please. None of that. Yeah. Okay. Good game.
All right.
Good game.
Glad to see you there. So you and I have at least both played this, and I don't know, Caleb, I think you ended, but Bugsnax. So, Jason, you started playing a little Bugsnax. How far are you into Bugsnax?
Not very far. Not very far at all. The first area, Ellie and I played it. My daughter and I played it. Mm-hmm. Just messing around. She was walking around, and we couldn't figure out how to get the flying Bugsnax. We're like, what's going on? Turns out you're not supposed to get them.
You don't get the flying Bugsnax yet. Yeah.
So I looked on my phone. I was like, Ellie, we got to go find another strawberry. Or Strabby, or whatever, Strawberry, whatever they are.
Strawberry.
I do like how the name comes out of the controller. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is when it.
She's got the controller and I go Strawberry, and she was like
it does. It makes you so excited to look and you catch when you're like, ooh, what's this one gonna say? Like, how's
there's a moment where she's holding the controller and she's looking at me. She's like, and I was like, that's what it's about right there. That's good stuff. Yeah, I remember when I was you, and that is the best feeling ever. So that was it. That was all.
Okay, have you gotten to the bungers and the shish kebab bugs? Okay.
Nope.
Because I don't even like. I just have to let you do it now because it's just kind of fun. I am about 4 hours probably into that game now.
Whoa, yeah. So you're going for it, huh?
Yeah.
You're gonna see Bugsnax through.
I'm gonna see Bugsnax all the way through.
Wow.
That game has gotten into a little less collecting Bugsnax and a little more about identifying the personalities of all of the people that you're. Because once you get past the first area, you essentially you're trying to get everybody back to Bugsnax Island, or Wow, Snacksburg. Sorry, Snacksburg is the Bugsnax Island is where you are. Snacksburg is the city, and you got to get all the wumbuses. That's what they're called. They're not people. They're wumbuses. Is that right? Or is there just
Shouldn't that be like Wumbai?
I don't remember. Or Wumbus is the name of one of them. I'm losing track. Either way, so you have to go to all these different areas and convince these people to come back to Snacksburg. Is the idea? So if you can get all these people back to Snacksburg, you could probably you're trying because the whole time you're just an investigative journalist, and you have to bring them back and then do an interview with them because you're trying to find the explorer. And so the only thing is like once you bring them back to the island, then all of a sudden like you have like campfire sessions with them, and it really delves into like each of their personalities, and then you get some extra missions that are like based on their personalities. I just wasn't expecting that more than anything. I guess thought this was going to be more of like a fetch mission kind of thing for a lot of stuff. Some of their stories are compelling, some of them, and when I say compelling for a 10-year-old, compelling, like they're not that great. But I am still extremely curious why in the world these people are eating these Bugsnax. Like if when you go into the thing of like the index of what they are, like if you look up a Bugsnax, like one of the calorie counts on a Bugsnax, like a single Bugsnax is 26,000 calories. Like it is out of control. Like it's like what? Like, yeah. I did at least find the giant sandwich. That like he's a sandwich that walks around like a centipede. I have not been able to catch him yet.
Yeah. Is this like a submarine sandwich?
It's a submarine sandwich that is cut into like multiple pieces, and it has legs, and it crawls around like a centipede.
So this is like a blimpipede.
Yeah, I can't remember what its name is now.
Or Jersey Mycopede.
Yeah,
or a Firehouse Subapede.
I've caught the ribblepede, which is just ribs that walk around like a centipede. So all of the bones are like legs. The weird thing about it is there are like 120 Bugsnax, but a lot of them are just variants on like a Strabi. There's like 5 different Strabis. So, but yet they all count as one bug.
Let me guess. You got your Raspy, and
there's a Raspy. There's a white Strabi. There's a white Raspy. Yeah, so just kind of that stuff.
Bluebee.
Yeah. Although I need to find a Bopsicle. I that's my next thing I need to find. And I can't, but I can't get out of Snacksburg.
If we named our podcast, that would be the name of it. I need
Bopsicle.
Bopsicle.
Well, it's in the
long one too. I need my Bopsicle.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of what the Cheeto. There's a Cheeto that flies in the air, and I can't remember what it. I think it's called a Cheepoof. It's not
a name brand Cheeto.
It's called a Cheepoof.
It's a cheesy poof.
It's a Cheepoof.
Okay. Cheepoof.
So when you pick him up, he's like Cheepoof.
So Caleb, are you gonna play more Bugsnax, or are you done?
It depends on what you guys think. I mean, maybe once I have a lead on a PS5 now, apparently, it may or may not be coming. We'll see. So if it does come, maybe I'll end up playing that. But I'm not in a huge rush to play it or anything like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm at the point where
Logan take this one.
Yeah, I'm at the point where that's my game I'm probably going to be playing next because I don't have anything else next. So that is literally in my queue right now. So I guess I'll talk about what I played today.
We need to get you into the open world RPGs more. Come on, man. There's 6 of them right
now. That'll suck the time away.
Well, I'm waiting on AC Valhalla. I've got that in my Gamefly queue. Because today I finished my Gamefly game, the Dark Pictures Anthology, A Little Hope. That took a whole 4 hours to play. 4, 5, maybe 5, I don't know. But I just started it this morning, played a couple hours, then played it this afternoon. That game kind of stinks. It's not as good as the other 2 of that in that world. The story is very similar to like the Salem witch trial kind of thing, and it's just not as well done. The characters aren't that compelling. The writing's not that great. There's very little quick time events as compared to the previous games. So you really are just sitting there a lot of the time watching stuff, or if you are walking, there'd be times it'd be like, okay, you're gonna walk here, and it was 1, 2, 3 seconds, and it's into a cutscene again. Like it was, basically all I did was go back and forth between whether I was going to be like this person in my response or like this person in my response. Which, come to find out, that's actually how you determine who's going to live or die, is based on how your responses are during all of this, not based on like the quick time events or the split second decisions you make. It's how the decisions are made throughout the game, whether someone's going to live or die. Because I had 2 people that died at the very end, that the reason they died was because I didn't unlock their certain abilities by answering making those decisions in the conversations that way.
I do think it's both.
It's both.
I think
yeah.
It's both.
But
yeah.
I had literally no control over the 2 people who died. Like, I watched them die in front of me, and in their eyes, it went to their eye, and it showed me like determination, and it had a padlock on it, and it was like, I didn't do that category or whatever for that person. But yeah, the other 2 people I saved, I think more based on my button clicks, and the other 2 I just didn't save at all. And then there's one person I don't even know if they can die, because you have 5 people total.
What did you think of the swerve at the end?
Dumb, completely dumb. Yeah. Thought it was terrible.
It kind of divests you of the whole experience.
It completely did.
It does. It does explain a lot. Like, oh, this is why you don't understand this, and this is why this makes no sense, and
right.
So it all comes together. Mm-hmm. But whether or not that is,
it was good. Kind of it was a slap in the face almost. At the end, I was just like, what was the whole point of any of that? If this is what it is, if that's what it truly was.
It's a person's way of dealing with trauma.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
Dissociative personality disorder.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's just.
Which I think the tree they're barking up, which I do think is a little interesting, is whether or not that is environmental or whether or not you were just born with it. You know, can you be traumatized to the point where you have a disease like that? And I think that's what they're trying to get at, but mm-hmm. also it's not the most sensitive way to handle that.
Right, and they really didn't get into that character at all. It was like, oh yeah, it was this character this whole time that you just now met at the end of the game. That's what really was just like, what? Like that. I had basically given up. I was already just like, the credits had rolled, and I was just looking on my phone. And I was like, what the hell is this? What's going on right now? Like, it was, yeah, it was bad. I didn't care for it at all. So,
what's the name of the guy, with the dude, the Peter Stormare of the Dark Pictures anthology?
Does he just a curator?
The sommelier of books.
When in the credits, it just said curator.
Curator, okay. Mm-hmm. You should have listened to him more. You know, like maybe he had some hints. Were you too prideful to take his hints or whatever he says?
I took his hints. I took his hints every time.
Yeah. All right. You've left everyone alive. Good for you. He's such a smarmy prick. Pip Torrens, the name of the voice actor. Pip Torrens.
All right.
Caleb, are you playing that? Have you played that? You gonna not play that now?
I wouldn't touch it if I were you. It's
nothing.
Yeah.
4 or 5 hours.
I knew Logan was kind of set on it, and I was like, I beat a game, so you know.
You gotta get your numbers somehow. You know, you gotta get
quota
game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So oddly enough, I do have to say this though. I went into our Xbox game comparison because I wanted to see like if there were like who you saved versus who I saved, just different thing in that. So I did that, and then I just kind of went down our because I hadn't scrolled through and compared our games in a long time. So I just scrolled, went down, went through, and I found it interesting that you had PUBG achievements and I didn't. So I clicked PUBG, and all of a sudden I had achievements firing off at me like no other in the compare games section.
Weird.
I was like, what in the world? Like, I didn't launch the game or anything else, but it like 4 achievements popped off and 1 rare achievement because I had gotten my solo chicken dinner in that. So I was just like, that was just a really weird thing that happened.
That is so odd. That's weird.
So anyway,
that's the kind of thing that makes you glad that you're kind of well, at least for me, that I'm kind of over achievements at this point, because that kind of stuff's infuriating.
Yeah, I don't think I even knew that. I guess 1, that PUBG had achievements, and then 2, that I was missing some. So weird.
Yeah. There was a time years ago where you would have been in that achievement menu saying, "Why have these not popped?"
Oh yeah, I completely would have if it was the 360 generation, or even the first year of the Xbox One. I would say we were still pretty hardcore into achievements, and maybe even first couple of years of that. But yeah, I think I've got like 160 some thousand achievements. They mean nothing.
Other than your gamer legacy is there, which I do think there's some value in that.
There is, yeah.
It's kind of amazing to me that people care about trophies the way they do, but it's probably just the install base. But where achievements were and where trophies were and how long it took Sony to ramp that up. Like, I guess it's probably a generational thing. We're older now, so those people probably don't remember when these things launched the way that we do, you know. And trophy support wasn't even available on games like Metal Gear Solid 4, you know.
Right.
So it's just
a
strange thing.
Say it does make a little sense to me, because there's something to be said about a platinum trophy.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's appealing. That's more appealing than saying I got all 1,000 points.
Because that was.
I think you're right.
Well, and it would also that 1,000-point thing got all screwed up after they started throwing DLC at it.
Yeah,
that really threw things off, and yeah,
they're so far down this. It's interesting to see like Microsoft still doesn't have a solution for that. Like an answer to that. Like, how do we? It's just
like how do you not have like a star? Like, just put a star on the thing and be like, "Yep, you started the game."
Something.
Right.
Yeah.
But even at that, getting to your achievements now was kind of a pain in the ass.
And it's definitely not on PS5. I think that's a pretty sleek little interface there.
Right. Like, compare trophies is a thing. Like, for me to go to your profile now and check your trophies and your game history, it's not as easy. Now it's all about your shares and all that stuff versus your actual gaming performance. Just a difference in priorities, I guess, for... Anywho, I'm looking through our list of stuff here. Because, Jason, you were pretty much all PlayStation except for you've done a little bit more Hades and a little more Spiritfarer. How have those been going for you?
I played my daily 2K. I still like that quite a bit. That's pretty much all there is to say there.
Okay.
Other than it's really good about roster updates. If you guys have been following league information,
agency,
yeah, like the Hawks are all of a sudden, whoa, like they've got Gallinari, Trae Young, and Bogdanovich, and it's
Rondo.
like shooters all over the place. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they've still held on to like Herter and stuff. So like if you take Capella out of there and put Collins at the 5, put like Herter or Reddish in, it's like shooters everywhere. It's crazy. I still really enjoy playing that every day, and they do a really good job with the roster updates. The older previous gen was Cyber Monday, Black Friday deals, like all over the place. The new one is not. It is still a raw $70.
That is for sure, yes.
But I finished a second run in Hades.
Okay.
I had a couple of infuriating runs post-win that I was almost like, I think I'm done with this, because it's just like you have an idea of a build you want, right? And then like you just get a bunch of jewels and keys and and dark along the way. And it's just like, I don't want any of this. I don't need any of this.
Have you ever thrown it on God mode?
No, not yet. Should I?
I mean, at this point,
you might as well.
You might as well just to get your 10. If you want to get your 10 runs, throw it on God mode. You lose.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's 10%, I think. 10% less.
20%.
That you damage you take. So it cuts your damage by 20%.
And then every time you die after that, it's an additional 2% up to a maximum of 80%.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah. So that might.
And that's the only thing it does too. So it's not gonna change like your builds or anything like that.
I did that after my first run because I was like, I just want to get. Well, no, I think I did it after my second run because I was like, if I want to get all 10 of these in, I just want to get all 10 of these in and not have to fuck with it. And that's when I went on my run of like 7 in a row because once you figure it out and you take the 20%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that might take the stress out of that game for me then.
Because I really do. I told you that a long time ago, actually.
I'm sorry.
I think I knew about it, but I wasn't using it. So that's good to know. Maybe I'll try a run of that soon and see how that goes. If I just melt my way through, then I might actually finish it. I enjoy I've enjoyed the endings, and that's like, what's going on here? You know what I mean? Like the voice acting is really good. The storytelling is really good in that game. And that's kind of what propels me through. Besides, I still really like playing it. So
it's fun to play.
Yeah, that's the thing and it's not like an obnoxious run at this point. Like it's 30 minutes, at most, if I live or die, 30 minutes. So it's not like some huge crazy ask. Even like with Dead Cells, I feel like that number was way higher for me, like around 50 minutes sometimes. So yeah, I may see that one through, especially on God mode. I'll throw that on and maybe that'll help. Because once you combine God mode with Titan Blood, maybe I'll be really doing some damage. Yeah. But that was it. I finished Spiritfarer after we talked last week, which is why it wasn't on my mind, because I realized that I had met the prerequisites to finish it.
Oh.
It was weird. Like, I didn't even need to unlock the southwest part of the map.
Yeah, you don't have to ascend everybody.
It was like I hit the number of spirits, right?
Yeah.
I sent one spirit, and I was like crushed by that one. It was like, for whatever reason, there were some characters I didn't really care about so much, and others that I cared more about. And when I sent this one, it was like, I am a mess right now. Get a hold of yourself, Jason. Like it was I don't know. It's just it was the dialogue and the character. It was just it was too much. It was too much. Stanley. It was too much.
Oh, Stanley's
it was too much.
Stanley's bad.
It was too much. It was too on the nose. It was too self-aware. It was too much. Like it was just, it was rough. It was rough. And then with everything that I have to play, it was like, I want to see this, but I also want to see the end of this game. And so I went and finished it, and that was it. I'm very torn about that game because there were a couple of moments where it really struck a chord with me and it hit a nerve hard. And then there were times where I was like, I don't want to farm this right now. I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah, that's
so fair. It's like, it's kind of like this weird push and pull because I feel like it's one of the more important games that I've played this year. And I can, like, the community that loves that game, and they, for good reason. It's unique. There's not much like it as far as the storytelling goes, and everyone's seen loved ones die. Everyone's had to attend funerals and be sad and watch them leave. And I think that if these characters remind you of people in your life, that's where it really, really hits people. I think it's powerful for sure. So I'm conflicted about that game. I really am. I liked playing it okay. I thought parts of it were a little bit annoying, but also there's nothing like sending people to the Everdoor.
No,
there's just
the music,
nothing like it.
The I don't even know what you call it, the ambiance of how you do it, the conversation that you have, even though you don't talk.
Just listen.
You just listen. And how at what point did you see the end, without saying it, what the ending is? At what point did you feel like you knew what was going to happen, or did you see it coming at all?
Maybe, are we sure there's not different endings to Spiritfarer? Because mine, there wasn't much that happened.
I don't. Wait a minute.
So maybe there are different endings, and maybe I should go explore that region and let those spirits go.
Because how many spirits are left?
I don't know. There's an area of the map. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw credits.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll have to research that and come back to it.
Yeah.
Because
I don't want to spoil something for you.
You guys were more completionist than I was, but their interactions when you let go of folks, and there are story beats that involve Stella. But I went, and that was it. That's all the credits. So if I should go explore that region and go through that exercise of letting folks go that I've not met, then maybe I should do that. If it's going to mean me seeing an ending.
No, wait.
Well, let's come back to that, Logan.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was just trying to see if it was
you guys would.
I thought it'd be a quick, is there multiple endings to Spiritfarer? I thought there would be an answer, and I guess I'm seeing something about a true ending.
There you go. And maybe you guys have seen the true ending,
but I also saw something where it says, no, there are not multiple endings. So I'm seeing two different answers on the internet, and I don't want to say one way or the other yet. So that will be a discussion for Game of the Year, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you guys can off podcast let me know if I need to go do that.
Okay, we'll do.
Either way, there was one spirit that made me sad, and then there's one that just had me like a melting puddle of goo. So, for what it's worth, I think that game has accomplished the thing that it's trying to accomplish with me, anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that. But let me know. And that's it for games. I haven't touched that since last Sunday. Maybe I'll have to go back to that. AC Valhalla, but I don't have much to say about that. Maybe Caleb has more on Valhalla.
Yeah.
Caleb, what about you, Caleb?
Valhalla?
Yeah, so I actually have the stat page up right now for that. I've played that game 17 hours.
Okay.
And I am at 14% completion.
Oh.
So, in fairness, I'm playing this game the stupidest possible way you could play it, where go to a region, clear out that entire region, move on to the next one. So,
I have a question. Hi. Sorry, I'm so excited. Are you having to do story missions to clear out parts of that region? So for example, if I'm going and I'm collecting things throughout the region, and I can't seem to find my way in somewhere or find my way, could there be a story beat that leads me into that area later, so then I can clear out that space later?
Yes. Yep. I ran into that twice now. So yeah.
Okay. So how are you attacking these regions? Are you getting through the narrative in that region and then cleaning it up? Or how are you?
I'm going around first and clearing up everything that I can.
Okay.
And then doing the story missions. And if I get to something that's obviously behind a locked door or something, I'm like, okay, this is probably tied to a story mission. So that's what I've been doing so far. It's also like tied into the narrative why you would go like one region at a time too. So that's kind of satisfying to me because you go to your war table and you're like, I want to go to this region right now, And she literally puts a knife in the map.
I know, isn't that awesome?
It's great. So yeah, I think this is an Assassin's Creed game. It's not going to change your mind about Assassin's Creed.
It is.
It's just not. You know if you like these games or not. And it's kind of weird, like going to this now after playing some more polished open world games lately, because this game still has Assassin's Creed jank like crazy. There was the funniest one for me so far. There's this big fight, in a big open courtyard. There's a fight going around. My guys are fighting. Enemies are flooding in. They're all pairing up and going at each other with sword and shield and everything. And one of my guys and then an enemy, their arms, for however, I don't know how it worked, but they got physicsed together, like stuck together, and they were literally just going around in a circle, like do-si-doing, like over and over and over. I was rolling laughing at that.
You're on PC, so there probably was an easy way to record that. Then
no, yeah, I could
imagine.
Yeah, a quick way to do it, but I probably should have tried.
One of the things that I do enjoy about that game is, you guys have heard me talk about this a lot with like combat. Caleb, you dismember folks in that game.
You do, but it's also like, I don't know if it's just coming off of Demon Souls or whatever, but there's a little bit of a disconnect between the controls you're pressing and the things that you're seeing on screen. If you do the light attack, sometimes it'll be a swing and a miss for no reason. Sometimes it'll be like it'll hit something random in a weird way and then it won't work right, or it'll snap to an animation. It's a little janky that way.
I think they've tried to solve the problem and caused another problem. You know what I mean? Like, we're gonna have each of these hits interact with the character in a natural way, but then that means what happens is you kind of like get caught in the middle, and then it translates into the animation to finish that kill. I think we're saying the same thing. It's like, but I think it's in service of them trying to solve the cut through another guy, and it doesn't really feel like you're doing anything. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
but I get that. I do.
You'll press assassinate, and then your character will like warp to behind the person and then do the animation. Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a little wonky like that. There's also some other stuff in there that, like, sometimes the humor is good and sometimes it's terrible. There was one side mission I did where a guy was trying to come up with, it was a chef, and he was trying to come up with a new sauce. Did you do that one?
No.
And oh, okay. So I don't remember he's in like all the names of the regions are ridiculous. He's in like Longishire, something like that.
Worcestershire, sure.
You're on to something here, because he's trying to make this sauce, and he's like, I'm calling this Longishire sauce, and then she's like, well, that's a ridiculous name for a sauce, and he can't get the recipe right. So he's like, you know what? I've exhausted all of my resources here. I'm gonna move somewhere else and try to make a sauce there instead. She's like, well, where are you going? Oh, I'm gonna go to Worcester. Okay.
Oh.
Right.
Mm.
There's also, what I just did before we started. There was a girl who, she asks you to like track down her dad, who is a famous archer, and his name is Legolas, like Legolas. Like, you're a little too on the nose here, Assassin's Creed. This is a little cringy. But I'm still enjoying going around on the map and clearing off the icons, just like you always do with an Assassin's Creed.
Do you have your new card installed?
Yeah.
So it must look
really good.
Yeah. I will say, coming off of Demon Souls and then playing that on the Series X with the patch, it looks really nice on my Series X. That's even though it is a cross-gen,
right?
Yes, and it has fixed all the screen tearing stuff, and the lighting looks nice. The frame rate is rock solid. It looks really good, and that's kind of what is propelling me forward beyond. I like it. I think it's okay. Story's fine. And it looks really good. So it's giving me that other thing to play on the new system. Whereas like I play Hades because I like playing Hades, you know what I mean? And then I play 2K because I really like playing 2K. And then AC is the game that I'm like, I like looking at this. You know, that's the nice benefit to playing it. And plus I like Assassin's Creed games. So yeah. What do you think of, is it Ivor? What do you think of Ivor? You think he's all right? He or she, depending upon.
And it's okay. It's not. Some of the voice acting in that game is a little rough.
Maybe because there's like a bazillion freaking characters. Like that game has, for better or worse, I think that if they are on this 2-year cycle, good for them. They're giving people like a game to play for a long time. Like that is a lot of video game, and I think that the quality is high enough to justify it. Is what I'm saying. Like it'd be different if there was a lot of it and it sucked, but I do not think it sucks. I think it's pretty good.
It would be nice though if they took another year off and kind of fix some of the stuff that other open world games have figured out. Like when you call for your mount and it doesn't show up, or it takes a really terrible path to get to you, it's like just rip that from Ghost of Tsushima. Just rip that whole concept from them because they nailed that. You know, like little things like that. If they could just pick and choose and steal, I think they could make a great game. But they kind of just keep putting out the same type of thing year after year.
I do think that there is something to be said for, at least wise, it's of a certain quality. Like they won't let it dip below.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not like a Watch Dogs situation here. You know what I mean? Like it looks better than that. It's more interesting than that, and it's more fun to play than that. You know what I mean? I think that good for them for having a certain quality threshold for that series. But you're right. I mean, it's not a CD Projekt game, or it's not a Rockstar game. You know,
I think Assassin's Creed, like on a whole, like I was talking earlier, like it has, like you said, it has a very high floor, but I think the ceiling for this is also super high, and they just don't really ever come close to hitting it.
Especially in a year where we've talked about some of the AAA experiences that we've seen. Like, it's a good game, but it's I do think it's still worth playing and worth seeing. The graphics are very, very good.
In my GameFly queue. I hope it comes next. It's going to be that or Sackboy. So it's the top one of my queue. So I'm just waiting on it coming because.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting on that. I did Platinum Astrobot, or Astro's Playroom. That was a lot of fun to Platinum, especially using the little hint thing. I thought I had a lot of fun just messing with that whole system. And also the time trials are a ton of fun. So I highly recommend doing those. It's just fun times with that game. So I am setting the timer now. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. Okay, I have 1 minute. It is going down. I finished that game. The biggest problem with that is that game, you play it as one way the whole game, with like kind of you run on this track and you have enemies that you hit, and like you ability things to hit, and you jump and avoid enemies and all that stuff, and then all of a sudden you get to you play through all of the Kingdom Hearts games, and then you get to Kingdom Hearts 3, and all of a sudden you're just flying through the air with all of those, and you're just floating around, and they're all the scenes from the game are happening behind you, and it's pretty bad. Like I don't know why they did it that way and why they changed everything up, especially when the music from 3 is some of the best music from the entire series. So to skip out on that was pretty trash, because every other world had 2 songs. Damn it, that's not long enough.
Well, that's it. You did it.
Do I have to wait till next week now?
Yeah, you do.
Okay.
Maybe when we do our Game of the Year talks, we'll give you 2 minutes.
Okay.
2 whole minutes. Imagine what he could do with that, Caleb. 2 whole minutes.
All right. Well,
pretty good.
I'll use
I did think it's funny. I sat. I said something, or no, I grabbed Miles from you, and then you were playing that in your living room the other day, and it made me laugh. I was like, yeah, of course, that's what he's playing, of course.
I have a lot more to say about that game, but I'll have to use my minute next week.
Next week, yep. Everybody, stay tuned. Next week. I do want to say one thing, since we've all been around the PlayStation 5, and as the resident Series X guy, I do think that there's like pros and cons to the storage limitations of the PS5 versus the Series X, and the amount of just system files that are taken up by the PS5. But one has this fun new UI, and one is like very quiet and thing that I've been looking at forever. So I'm more excited about the PlayStation 5 experience because it's just newer.
Yeah, it's something different. Yeah.
And I think that like the trophy stuff is neat, the hint stuff is neat, and just music in general, like the general ambiance of playing with it is probably more fun, just because it feels new. And I'm booting up a Series X, and it's like, if I didn't notice the fidelity difference in the games, like
it wouldn't seem like you had any console at all.
Same system, like Spiritfarer. Oh boy, that's the Series X experience you're looking for. It's just, I really like the PS5 UI, but that does come at a capacity cost, so pros and cons. But I really do like fiddling around with that system a lot. So that's all I had to say. One is sexier than the other, and it's definitely the PlayStation 5.
That's for sure. Agreed. Speaking of sexy, the flight attendant.
Are you guys both watching that, or just you, Caleb?
Just Caleb is so far. I
want to watch that.
I would do too. So I'm curious of how far you are in and what your thoughts are.
Go. I only watched the first one.
Not enough.
Is this on HBO Max?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There are 3 out right now. They do 2 a week for some reason. It's weird. But this is Kaylee Cuoco, who you probably know from Big Bang Theory, and other stuff.
10 Rules for Dating My Teenage Daughter.
Yeah, but this is the first time I've seen her in anything that's not a comedy. So it's a little weird in that regard. But
this isn't
I
a
think
comedy?
she does. No, this is not a comedy.
Oh, okay.
No, it's just so you don't know the premise at all.
I thought it was a little more of a dramedy, I guess, than a
I guess
drama.
It has it's not like it's not a sitcom for sure.
Okay, yeah.
Which is everything else that I know her from.
She's Harley Quinn.
That's true. That's a voice.
She's the voice of Harley Quinn, yeah.
Yeah. But it's I was surprised by her performance. She's actually really good in that first episode. Totally believable, and I want to keep watching it. I don't have a ton to say just because I've only watched the first one. But I am intrigued by it so far. I don't think it's must-watch TV for you guys if you have other stuff that's like high up on your list, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Right. I do want to watch that. I was surprised, like after reading the premise, I was like for whatever reason, how long are the episodes, Caleb?
They're an hour. I'm pretty sure it was an actual hour.
Okay.
At least the first one.
I was just going to look up and see how long of a series that is. Like, is it going to be 10 episodes?
8 episodes?
Something like 7 or 8 episodes, something like that. Because they did the first. It's a weird release schedule. They did the first. Well, they put the first one out for free, like a couple weeks ago, and then they put the first 3 episodes out all at the same time last week, and then there's 2 next week. 2 a week after, and then the finale, I think.
Weird.
Yeah, it's a really weird.
Is that on network? I know that's a weird question to ask, but
I don't think so.
I think it's a Max
streaming only thing.
Yeah, so there's stuff that's either HBO or it's Max. So, and then because there's certain things it's really weird because there are things that, like, on my Roku TV, I cannot watch anything that's Max exclusive on the HBO app because HBO Max is not on Roku yet. It just got put on Amazon devices like 2 weeks ago. Otherwise, it's only been on, I think, Xbox, Apple TV, and then browsers. Like it's the weirdest rollout you could have ever had for this.
PlayStations, I think it's on PlayStation.
Did it finally get added to PlayStations too? Okay, yeah.
I think so.
It was. I know initially it was like, how are you not on Fire and Roku devices? Like it's
weird.
It didn't make any sense why, and then you wonder why no one has your product. Like it's dumb. So yeah. Oh, that's good. Well, speaking of HBO, I've been watching The Undoing, which the finale is on right now. That's a really good show. I think you guys should check that out. It's a murder mystery. Nicole Kidman still does Nicole Kidman stuff. She's still a good actress. Donald Sutherland's all creepy old man, and
I didn't know he was in it.
Donald Sutherland is Nicole Kidman's father.
All right. Well, I'll watch all of them tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah.
If he's in, it's obviously incredible. It's him and Sam Elliott. You tell me they're in anything, and I will watch it.
Yeah, Donald Sutherland, not as much in the first episode. He kind of really kicks in more than it's only 5 episodes, I think. No, 6 episodes. Because episode 6 is on tonight, and he was heavily in episode 3 and 4. That's for sure.
Okay.
So yeah.
Caleb, are you gonna Are you think you watch that or no? Are you gonna do that?
So I'm intrigued because I've heard conflicting things now from another podcast I listened to.
Oh really?
And yeah, the guy on there that reviews TV did not like that show. So and now hearing that you really like it is intriguing.
Yeah, I like it. I wouldn't say that it's the best thing I've ever seen by any means. I think it's a good solid show to watch though.
So he said that at the end of episode 4 there is a twist that he thought was laughably bad. So that 4? Made me curious. I think it was episode 4. So
there's a twist at the end of every episode. I wouldn't say it's a murder mystery show. You have X amount of characters. You have X amount of suspects. That's what it is.
Yeah, let me double check and make sure that this is the same show, because
The Undoing.
These things
Nicole
just
Kidman,
aren't...
Hugh Grant, Donald Sutherland.
God, there's just so much to watch on HBO. My God.
Mm-hmm.
HBO has really brought it this year. Jeez. The way we watch TV, there's still going to be a show that we miss between the 3 of us on that network.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's crazy. It's crazy. I almost feel like we should divide and conquer some of it. Goodness gracious.
Yeah. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah.
I will watch that probably, Logan.
I think it's a quick watch. I mean, since it's only 6 episodes too, it's that one. I feel like it's something that you should check out.
Sorry, episode 5. So there's an episode 5 reveal. So I'm interested.
Yeah, yeah. Do you want me to watch the finale and then tell you if you should watch it or not?
I would appreciate that feedback.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might not get to the finale till tomorrow night, though.
That's fine. Yeah, I always want to know if it sticks the landing. That is good to know.
Okay.
Because if it diffuses like some shows we've seen, thanks for the heads up. Maybe do something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, Perry Mason.
Yeah, we watched that in real time, and maybe one of us should have watched it and then gotten back to the other. Because the actors in that show is just, we both really like.
How did you not want to watch that show?
Cast.
And the thing is most of that show was good, and then the ending just kind of fell
flat. It wasn't
flat.
Great. Right,
it was
right.
so.
Are they going to do another season of that? They probably are, right?
Absolutely no idea.
I bet
they set
will.
it up for a second season, so I'm not really sure.
I'm excited about something on both of your lists.
Okay.
Yeah, I know what it is. Because it's.
Can you tell me about Saved by the Bell? I didn't even know that was a thing until a day ago. Oh no.
Logan,
no. No.
I've only watched the first one, so if you watch more than that, feel free.
I have watched 3 episodes. That show's trying way too damn hard, and I don't know if it doesn't know what it wants to be yet. That's so 3 episodes in. So Caleb, 1 episode in, you're probably going, are they making fun of diversity and inclusion, or are they in on the joke? Because I'm not sure, and I had to really look up. One of the characters is transgendered, and they actually are.
Yeah, well, they mentioned that too in the show in the first episode.
Right, they mentioned
it's a very casual.
It's a very casual thing, but then, like later on, like in other episodes, there's other things that are brought up about different.
It's a little unfair because I listened to an interview with one of the showrunner.
Okay.
And she said that she wanted her role in this was that she wanted there to be a transgender actor whose story in the show was not centered around being transgender, to show that this is your life doesn't have to you're not pigeonholed into one thing. And she said that the actress was on board with that, so that's kind of what they're going for there.
And that's perfectly
the thing
fine.
I'm a little confused about is like the whole, I guess it's supposed to just be like a rich versus poor scenario.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to think it's funny, the stuff that the rich kids are doing, but it's just kind of aggravating so far.
Yeah. So there's literally in the second episode, the show's main character is a Latino girl from a poor high school. So the premise is Zach is the governor of California. Zach Morris is.
Which he ran for governor so that he could get out of paying a parking ticket.
Right. And ended up cutting $10 billion from the education budget, which now forced a lot of schools to close, and so another high school closed from a poorer area, and those students joined Bayside, where his son Mac Morris,
that's bad,
is really attending. Bad. He looks exactly like Zach, acts exactly like Zach, and then in that first episode, when they made the transgendered person, that she was a female, also has the same like dirty blonde look. They had them run it for school president against each other so that they could go for a parking spot. Like, I wasn't like, that's where I guess I was confused on, like, are they gonna make this show about her and she's gonna be the foil to Mac, and like what are they really going for here? But you can definitely tell now the main character is the Latino girl.
Yeah.
But then also there's another girl from the poor high school who is a star football player, and she is going to be like the first female football player and also the quarterback on the team. So it was like, are we trying to take every diverse character and put them in these positions on purpose because that's what you want to do with a show, or is it like poking fun at this? Because then the next episode, there's literally a character who she's like a PTA person. There's this whole PTA group of moms that they decide to get together and they form a group, and it's like parents, I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but their acronym is called PITY, and it's set up to help out the students who came from the other school. And the main teacher's or the main parent's name is Karen Whitelady.
Okay, so yes, that solves it for me then. So
that they're completely poking fun.
They are making fun of rich people. That is 100%.
They're making fun of rich white people the entire time.
Yeah.
But I wasn't. The thing is, like, you're not really sure what you're getting. Like, it's a weird.
Yeah, I was a little unclear on, like, because Mac in that first episode is that he has pretty much just as much screen time as the Latino girl.
Right.
And so to me, I was like trying to figure out, well, is he supposed to be the main character? And if so, am I supposed to be identifying with him? Or is he supposed to just be this like, are we supposed to be making fun of him? Is he supposed to be?
The way I
I don't know
that she's the main character is because she's the only one who can do the timeout.
Yeah.
That's the only way, the reason that you know that she's the main character.
So yeah, it's a little messy, but I can see how it could be good. Maybe they just need some time to set everything up. I'm not sure.
And they've done the next couple episodes. I feel like I've gotten a little more understanding, I think, of how the show works. That it is very much they are making fun of all of these norms, and they're not hitting on one group, they're hitting on them all. Like, it is not a like, hey, we're only making fun of rich white people here. Like, there's one episode where the black kid is like the black male in the group, like he's talking about how he has to constantly like give his mom diabetes shots, and because she's just constantly yelling at Judge Judy and nobody believed him. And then one of the girls went over to his house and you could hear her yelling from the other room about Judge Judy. Like, okay, like they are trying to play on like some stereotypes, and that like, and so they are at least making jabs at all sides, because it was very off that first episode about like, what is this show going for? Like, is this a comedy?
Yeah.
Is this serious? Like, are they trying? Like, I'm not really sure.
The big thing for me is so far has been, why is this Saved by the Bell?
It's not.
It seems like it would have been better served if it was a different show, but maybe, I don't know.
Slater and Jesse are in it. That's about it. There is, in the third episode, there's a really good dumb callback that they do the entire episode between Zach's son Mac and Jamie Spano, because Jamie Spano is Jesse's son. They're both vying for the same girl.
Okay.
So they kind of, there's a it's a it calls back to old stuff, but like at the same time, in the very first episode, Jason, one of the things that they do is like the new girl who's from the the not so rich high school. They take her to the Max, and Zach's son, he's like, yeah, this is where we come. We hang out here all day. And she goes, how can you guys afford to eat out every day? Like, just kind of one of those like, yep, that's a good question. Like, way to point that out. But then 2 episodes later, she's at the Max having coffee. So
I don't know if I'm going to watch this. I think I'm good. Everything I'm hearing, I'm okay. I'm going to watch better television, I think.
Like, I'm just going to hate watch television. This, I think.
I'm good.
Like,
I'm good. Thank you for taking the deep dive. I think I've heard what I need to hear. I'm all right.
So, okay, so let me switch gears here and tell you something that I think maybe you should watch.
Wow, okay. Really?
I think maybe you should watch Big Sky. Jason specifically. Logan, please do not watch this show.
Is this...
You just asked me to watch network television, Caleb. You understand that, right?
They are playing it up as this is the best show on network television. It is literally how they're selling this. That's how they're selling this. It's that bad on network television.
Jason,
right now.
this is
I watched Prison Break.
This is the network TV version of Yellowstone.
Oh.
It's hokey. It's melodramatic. People die at a ridiculous pace. It's pulpy and ridiculous, and I think you might actually like it, not because it's good, but because it's that. Logan, no, do not.
It's on the DVR, Caleb. I'm ready. Okay.
I've heard this compared to oh god, what is that show called? Twin Peaks. Is this anything like Twin Peaks?
No. It's set in roughly the same area, but other than that, no.
Okay, is this set in Montana?
This is set in Montana.
Okay, I just assumed Big
and
Sky
Twin Peaks
Country.
was in Washington. So
okay.
All right, Caleb, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Especially if it is the network television version of Yellowstone, which is even better.
It depends on Logan. It depends on what parts of Twin Peaks you want to pull out, because I can't separate Twin Peaks from David Lynch, and this is the farthest away from
okay. That's the only thing I had heard was like, what does this compare?
He is 100% like subtlety and symbolism, and this show is like not that at all.
Oh, okay.
Caleb, do you remember in the most recent season of Twin Peaks where there's the big shootout in like the subdivision? There's like the huge shootout. Important characters die, and then the two brothers from the casino. People are under a lot of stress, Bradley. It's just like
it was like a scene straight out of Fargo.
Oh yeah, it's so good. Like all this brutal violence, and then people are under a lot of stress, Bradley. It's so, man, that show deserved to be on our list where it was. Yeah. Okay, I will watch Big Sky. Fine. Yeah, it's at the top of the list. I looked at the commercial for that, and Caleb, shit you not, I was like, well, I'm never watching that. But here I am. I'm doing it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do it.
So I heard Fargo in there. Where is everybody with Fargo? What episode is everybody on?
Is that tonight, by the way?
Tonight. Yep.
Is that tonight? Yeah. Are you caught up, Caleb?
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Logan, are you a little behind?
I'm on episode 5, deciding if I ever want to watch any more of it because I just can't watch it.
Just drop it now.
Really?
I recommend you just
it's been so bad. This I can't even bring myself to watch. We were after episode 5, after they killed Dr. Senator, I was like, I was the only person I even liked on the show, and I don't even want to watch it anymore.
I think it gets more and more rough as the season goes on.
Oh man.
As opposed to earlier seasons where things kind of picked up steam and you were really compelled at the end. I think this one does the opposite. The characters that they chose to focus on, I think, are probably the least interesting characters in the show. I'm immensely disappointed with this season. I don't know about you, Jason, but it's been.
I think that there are some high highs in there, but the lows are so low. And the pacing is just weird. It's like
every episode.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's
like it's not there.
Each episode's an hour and a half, and I'm getting 3 minutes of worthwhile time, and it's just not worth my time.
I am interested to see the supernatural element of this season. I think is kind of interesting to me, is the most interesting part for me. And I can't wait to see how that fits into the finale, or if at all, because you're not always given that satisfaction with Fargo. Like there's always this odd supernatural hook.
Yeah.
And this one is really like obvious. And I want to see if it's going where I think it's going. But that's, Caleb, that's the only thing that I am interested in, really. And it's exactly that. Like, Logan, I'm going to watch, if it does go where I think it's going to go, and they do include it in the finale, I'll watch an hour of 20 minutes of stuff that I'm lukewarm on, and then there'll be a couple of minutes where I'm like really interested to see what happens. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I wonder if I were to just start episode 10 and, if I get the previously on Fargo, if
antecedently,
antecedently,
if that would give me episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9 in a nutshell enough to watch episode 10.
There might, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's some deaths you might want to see, because they've begun the they've begun to Fargo.
The culling has begun.
Yes. The main characters, besides the good doctor, have begun to start to drop. The bodies are dropping. So
is any of the stuff that was shot around here even worth checking out at all? I mean, it was literally their trailers were in my backyard at one point for shooting this episode 8. So
it's all just kind of wide open spaces,
that's what it is. Yeah, I mean that's what.
So it's hard to make it be remarkable. They just needed American plains, and they found them.
They found
what I mean?
They found the old mansion in the American plains. Just happened to be 1.5 miles from my house, and they used the parking lot of the church behind me as for their trailers.
It's just there's so much of it that just isn't very engaging, like Caleb said. And then, but I do the moments where it is Fargo, I do enjoy those. So I don't hate it as much as Caleb does, but it's just not like the pure straight fire that the first 3 seasons were.
Yeah.
It's just not that. But there's some stuff in there that's like, this is clearly good television still, even though I'm disappointed by it. Like it's definitely better than Big Sky, but we'll see.
Hey, you haven't watched Big Sky yet, don't you?
You're right. Maybe I'll like it better. You're right. Maybe that's a good way. Maybe that's a good way to soak it in, Logan. Like, just at least twice say like, well, I kind of understand what happened here and move on with your life.
Yeah. So I started watching The Mandalorian this season. I've just watched 2 episodes. The very first episode. Caleb, have you watched any of this season at all?
Yeah, I'm up to date on it.
So, Jason, you didn't even watch the first season, did you? All right. So, if I were to tell you that the first episode has a guest star, and that the episode is called The Marshal, who would you assume that Marshal would be?
I mean, hopefully Timothy Olyphant.
There you go. It's Timothy Olyphant.
All right, cool. Oh, all right, good. Yeah, well done. All right.
I mean, he literally is the Marshal. He's Marshal Raylan Givens. He's the Marshal in Fargo.
That dude, if he's not on Deadwood, then he's a Marshal somewhere.
He's a Marshal somewhere. So that's that show continues to be a Star Wars procedural drama that is overhyped and completely watchable and entertaining, but massively overhyped for what it is, because
it is a solid B.
Yeah,
at all times.
It
never drops to the C, never goes to the A. It just stays right in its lane.
It's like all it is it's like, you know how like every like Law and Order and CSI episode has there's a little bit of character development like at the first like 3 minutes, and then the last 3 minutes that kind of has a little bit of a through line throughout the entire season.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's what The Mandalorian is. Like, there's a little bit at the beginning with him and the child, and a little bit at the end, and then everything in between is just space hijinks. Like, like, I know people love that show, and I saw Caleb's, nationally recognized Twitter account decided to hit on that note the other day too. So,
that was aimed at a couple of other people that think it's amazing.
Sure, yeah, like I'm with you. That show is it's a B.
I'm glad. I am really glad you guys are around to hear me talk about this kind of stuff, because in other circles, I'm known as the TV snob who is way like, I'm known as that guy. So I'm glad you guys are around to keep me sane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, my wife watches Chicago PD, and I go up there. Like, the thing is, I'll go up there tonight, and she's probably passed out watching Chicago PD because that show sucks. And that's why she's watching it, is to fall asleep. But I mean, I get maybe that's what people want. They want mind-numbing stuff to fall asleep to or something. That's great. I mean, that as long as it gets somebody watching it, I guess. Just not that guy.
I think that we all kind of agree. Like, if you're gonna invest time into something, it better have a return on it. You better get something for it, and that has probably translated into I'm not gonna watch The Last Ship or anything on TNT, frankly, ever. So sorry.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be over here watching all of the things that we're talking about. I'm going to be watching a bad season of Fargo before I'll ever watch Snowpiercer. Like, ugh. Animal Kingdom. Ugh. God bless
I don't know
America.
anyone who watches those shows.
Claws. Yeah, but people clearly do. You know, like it's fine. And like people like Blue Bloods. Good God.
My dad loves Blue Bloods. I mean,
and that's fine.
But he
that's
also
fine.
is still like my dad still loves Tom Selleck's mustache, and I mean, I would go for a mustache ride. Don't get me wrong, but I mean,
no. Tell me more about the reverse mortgage, Tom. Tell me more.
Does he do those?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, I don't watch enough old person TV that does the reverse mortgages.
Yeah, he's pimping those now.
Oh,
but yeah, I understand that, Caleb, because we can be a difficult lot too. When somebody wants to talk about the cool show that we're watching, and immediately we become the worst judgmental people on earth when we hear them talking about bad TV. I understand. It's a me problem. I understand. I'm sorry.
When somebody brings up that they're watching something like you said, The Last Ship, when somebody says, I've been watching The Last Ship, I just can't control the look on my face where I'm like,
and then you give them a recommendation of something good to watch, and then they're like, yeah, I watched a couple episodes of that. I'm like, and you like, how are you not interested in this? Like, how have you not? Or that you actually give them something, they're like, wow, that's like the best show I've ever seen. I'm like, that's like on my like tier 3. But this is what I thought you should start with, because I didn't want to give you the top tier yet. So
yeah.
Anyway,
obviously we are the ones who are correct in all of this.
Right, our taste is obviously better than others. Speaking of, I guess, tiers here, I'm not sure where this goes, but Dave, I finished Dave.
Okay.
That's definitely not tier 1. That's like a tier 2-ish show. That show's solid for comedies. Right? Yeah. Like I enjoyed my time with Dave. That was I'm not sure what I thought about the finale.
The finale starts out tremendous.
Yes, it does.
It loses a little bit of steam towards the end, but
because
that first like 12 minutes is just.
But then again, I don't live in the world where the Breakfast Club is what I live and die by, and there's a lot of people who live and die by the Breakfast Club. I mean, so that could mean a lot, obviously, to that world. But man, does that that episode 10, that the finale starts off strong. Boy, does it start off strong. Yeah, like I couldn't believe it when I first saw it. Like, but Jason, I think you should maybe, if you get some time, I think you could get a kick out of this.
Okay. I wanted to watch it originally, then forgot about it, and Caleb brought it back. So I'm not watching anything on FX right now, so that would be good.
Yeah, it's
just to get an FX. Wait, sorry, Fargo. There was a huge gap, I guess, before Fargo, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, there definitely was.
Okay, I'll watch it. It's on that's a Hulu show, right?
It's on Hulu. FX. Mm-hmm. It was on FXX, I believe, was what it was on. And then now it's that's how I watched it, was on Hulu. So
okay, I'll watch it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're half-hour episodes, right?
Yeah, so it's like 24 minutes an episode, something like that.
I can probably burn through those.
Yeah, I burned through them in 2 weeks, and I probably could have done it faster if I tried harder. But
okay, I've got so much TV homework after this conversation.
Do. I'm sorry, we've plagued you with TV homework, but hey, we took Saved by the Bell from you, so
no thanks. That was enough. I heard enough. If you ever listen back to this podcast and we listen to that discussion, you'll probably be able to hear me go like wet fart. my balloon deflating on Saved by the Bell as you guys talk about it. No thanks.
With Saved by the Bell, I watched that first episode and I was like, I don't know if I want this right now. So I actually started watching Good Morning Miss Bliss, which was the original show.
Yeah, it was the original Saved by the Bell.
I've never seen it before. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch that instead. So that's where I am with that show.
And you know what? That show, Good Morning Miss Bliss, is okay.
It's bad, but it's whatever.
It might be better than the new Saved by the Bell, though.
We'll see.
I found
the Big Show, Caleb, but you watch that. I mean, come on, let's just, you know.
Yeah, I forced myself to watch those last 2 episodes this morning, or the next 2 episodes, and we'll see if I watch another episode.
Yeah. I have one other thing I wanted to say real quick is I finished The Crown. It's amazing, but then I'm like watching a little bit of Ted Lasso every week because I hold those so precious.
Oh, you haven't finished it?
No, because it's so good. So I need I pick spots where I'm feeling kind of down, and then I throw on my one Ted Lasso. That show is amazing. It's so good. It's so good. Even when bad things happen, that show is fantastic.
Ted Lasso. So we watched. My mom and my sister were over for Thanksgiving, and they had not seen it, and so I made sure that they have access to it. My sister has Apple TV, and she just didn't even know about it. So we watched the first 3 episodes, and we're completely hooked. And I may rewatch the rest. I think I might just end up rewatching it. It's that good. Like the scene that you died at was in the 2nd episode. That with Caesar you later, and I rewound it again because I was just
he slams the door open. It scares the shit out of her. She's like, she thinks he's got a gun. He's just, yes. It's so great.
My sister lost it at that too. She was just like she was in tears. I was like, thank you for enjoying that part, because my God, that I was like Jason lost it at that point. That was his favorite part of the show. So what episode are you on then?
Moment of the year. I'm on episode 5, I think.
Man,
I'm
savoring. I like it.
I really am.
Man.
I really am.
I'm glad I haven't said anything.
They just traded Tart.
Tart.
They just traded Jamie. Yeah, they just traded him. So that was he tries to go in and yell at her, and here's your biscuit, and I hope it's worse this morning. And, it's amazing. He takes a bite out of it, and it's just so good. Even when he's mad, the episode before that was about his marriage falling apart.
Yes,
it's sad, but it's still super positive, and I
does he write
I like that show? I have no idea, but that show wins all the awards for 2020. Every award we have, we need to just give it all to Ted Lasso. It's the best.
You haven't even finished it.
No, I just love it so much. I don't want to finish it.
It's like a really good game for sure.
It's like that game you don't finish because you don't want to finish it.
Oh, it is 12 episodes. No, sorry, it's 10. It's just because it's been renewed for season 2 and 3 already. That's why it's on there.
Is that an REM song, by the way?
What?
The intro song? You guys know?
I don't know.
I'm not 100%.
It sounds like REM, but I don't know. It's really catchy. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why we love this show, Jason? It's a Bill Lawrence show.
Yeah, you guys didn't know that?
I have a type. What can I say? Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Man, looking at the writing credits on this, it's the guy Coach Beard is one of them.
Okay.
Bill Lawrence and Jason Sudeikis. The guy, why can't I think of his name? On the show, Roy Kent, the guy that plays Roy, is one.
Yeah, Roy. Okay.
And then what is this? Sorry, I thought. Never mind. I'm an idiot. I thought this was somebody else. She's a writer, but she's not anybody special. Her name was Phoebe Walsh, and I thought it was Phoebe Waller-Bridge for a minute. that's a completely different person. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. If it's her, it's like, wait, yeah, that changes everything. But no.
He goes through he's going through a terrible divorce, and then like he realizes that Coach is hurting after he puts chess before his relationship with this new girl. Come on, Coach, come here, tell me what happened. He's just like, he's going through this really traumatic experience, but like Ted's such a good guy. He wants to talk about his recent breakup, put the game before the girl. Coach, you gotta stop doing that. Gotta stop, Coach. That show's great.
Yeah. All right.
What were you gonna say, Caleb?
Two things. First of all, Bill Lawrence, underrated show, Cougar Town, most underrated show.
I have always heard that I should watch that.
So good, and nobody watched it. Secondly, I think Jason, you mentioned Big Show at one point, and what I was going to say is I think my plan, pending approval by you guys, is I will, like the week before we do Toady consideration, I will go through the list just by myself and I'll do a solo video and just start slashing stuff. So I'll say why I watched it or why I finished it, and then just cut it. That way we don't have to spend all that time when you guys are together. And then if you guys want to watch that video afterwards, you're welcome to. And if you don't want to watch it, then we'll just have a regular list.
You've got a lot on there, so that is fair. Like the Big
Show. I'm just like, that's going to come off the list immediately, but it's there. I watched it. So
I'm okay with that. We can use our platform, our mighty platform, to at least let you cathartically go through your massive list. Seriously, why not? And that way I can listen to it and feel like we talked about it. But when we're together, we can really get to the the TV snob shows we talked about.
Right.
All right. Sounds good. Anybody else have anything for the cause? All right. Nope. It has been a long podcast tonight, oddly enough. So
there's a lot to play. There's new systems. There's tons of TV.
And we have a lot of, we had time off this week. That was also a thing. So that
which actually kind of got me a little bit, because my son tries to throw himself off the island every day. So I'm kind of weighing that with ignoring him with Miles Morales, but that means maybe not as much TV.
Just throw some pillows down there. It's fine.
I was thinking like a bunch of trampolines or pillows, maybe. There's got to be a way.
Oh, you mean literally throw himself off the island?
Dude, the guy's a freaking maniac, Caleb. Like, I
thought you were trying to make some like Survivor reference or something, and
no, off my kitchen island with a knife and a pair of scissors. Yes, all of it. Maniac, freaking maniac. Good Lord. A daughter, none of this. The son, he's just he wants to airmail himself down the stairs. He's just a freaking crazy person. He wants to pull the tree down on himself. Like, he's just nuts. So can't watch TV all the time during Thanksgiving week. So maybe I'll be able to take in a little bit more this week.
All right. Sounds good. Well, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast for this week. We are going to shove some Little Caesars pizza in our mouth, and we'll see you next week.
Little Caesar you later.